Hello and welcome, my friends. Welcome to Astrology 101. I have been loving the questions that have been coming up regarding astrology, tarot, you name it. And I wanted to spend some time diving back into these teaching 101s. And we're going to kick off this fall fun learning experience diving into that birth chart. So our first teaching will be on Astrology 101, the birth charts, specifically your zodiac signs. And yes, signs. A lot of the topics that I'll be covering over the next 12-ish weeks, give or take, they're huge topics. I don't want to overwhelm you with tons of information so that it takes away from the joy of what it is we're learning. Now, most of us know the different zodiac. We know that we've got one for sure zodiac. The day you were born, we have the zodiac sign. So, for example, at the beginning of January, you're going to be a Capricorn. That's how we check our horoscopes once upon a time. We know that information. What we may not know is that our very dynamic and diverse self has more than one zodiac. So yes, we have that sign, but we have much more. And that's why we need the birth chart to support us with understanding that complex system that we're born into. Now, this is what an astrological birth chart looks like. There's so many sites that will give you a free chart. This one is from Astrocharts. However, you can Google it. There is no one better than the other. You're going to get the same information because this is all done by maps and math. Now, don't get overwhelmed by what you're seeing. There's a lot, like I said, this is a huge topic. Now, this is, of course, Marilyn Monroe's birth chart. I wanted to pick somebody that, she's iconic. You don't have to focus in on all the information, especially this kind of etch-a-sketch color, fun symbols. You can see the zodiac there. It's okay. Don't worry about that. We're going to do something a little bit simpler. We're going to be focusing in on the bottom part. Not all of it, just a few of them. Now, like I said, our sun sign. We know that. It's where the sun was positioned when you were born. Now, the sun sign represents your core personality, that main identity. Horoscope, or looking at the characteristics of your zodiac that you were born into, it may not always hit home, is because we're more than this. The sun sign, like I said, this is connected to your birthday, the day you were born. Now, I know that I've had conversations with people who are saying that they're a cusp baby, that they could be this zodiac or the other zodiac that it falls into. This isn't true. It's down to a very mathematical, timed situation. Now, cusps, like I said, don't exist. You can see for Marilyn Monroe, the sun was at 10 degrees and 32. And she's considered what would be called a Gemini because of the day she was born. The planets in the zodiac, they're clearly defined. And yes, you may be at that point where you were almost something. However, your sun sign is very clear. However, it's going to be a big however here. There are times that if you read your horoscope or a listing of traits for a certain zodiac, it doesn't feel right. That's because we're much more than just our sun sign. We have what's called our moon sign. This, of course, is where the moon was in the sky when you were born. This is our inner world, those emotions, those feelings, your instincts. Additionally, on top of the moon sign, you have your riser, or what's called ascender. This is where whatever zodiac it is, that is located on the ascendant line. And don't worry, I'll show you where that is. Can't be missed. It's literally the middle of the chart. This is how you present yourself to others. It influences your outward behaviors, those first impressions, those aspirations. Unlike the sun sign, we know what we are because of the day we were born. However, the moon sign and the ascender or riser can be a lot harder because you need the math to the chart and those maps I was talking about. To find out those zodiacs, those 3 zodiacs that you are, you obviously need the day you were born, the place you were born. Those are 2 easy pieces. We usually know that. What can be more challenging is the time of birth. That's not always written down somewhere. It's not usually on many people's birth certificates. So we may have the time of birth because a parent may remember, or a grandparent, or it was in our baby book. However, if you don't know that and your parents can't quite remember what time, you can ask, was it in the morning? When was it around lunchtime? Many parents have a story of when their child was born, or a grandparent may have a similar story. However, if you're not too sure and there's no one to ask, you can always use 12 o'clock. That's what was used in the Marilyn Monroe example because we don't have the specific time of day. Just know without the specific time, some of it may not be as correct. My suggestion, try. You can also think about the stories that you do know. So if you were born in the morning, you could maybe move it back and see where the skies were. Because again, they change throughout the day. Twins can have the same sun sign, but their moon sign and their riser can be different because there's time in between their births. And it can be different. Not always, but it can be. Going back to Marilyn Monroe's chart, you can see right here it says ASC. That's your ascender. This line right across the middle is your ascendant line, the middle of the circle. More importantly though, even if you don't look at this nice circular mosaic of colors, it is down here. So as you can see, the sun sign, Gemini. The moon sign is Aquarius. You can see the degrees and the latitude. So the ASC, the ascendant or riser, is clearly written here. It is this midline, and you can see where it is. Here it says Virgo. There's the middle part. And you always start on the left-hand side. So you get Virgo. So what does this mean for you? Well, this will give you 2 more zodiac to play with. That said, I have met people that have the same zodiac repeating a number of times in their triad of zodiac, and that's okay. The most important thing is to know what zodiac appear in your chart. Your sun sign, your moon sign, and your riser. How do these zodiac interrelate? How do they relate to you? How do you feel about these zodiac? Getting to know these different aspects will give you a better picture for you. Going forward, throughout the next upcoming weeks, I will be going through the different zodiac to look at their different traits and attributes. As you saw in that beautiful circular artwork in the middle of the birth chart, you have many different zodiac interacting and relating to you in different forms. And yes, I will be going through more of the birth chart at a later date. Like I said, I want to keep these bite-sized pieces so it's not overwhelming. And for my Patreon friends, as an added perk for supporting me and being part of my community, each of the lessons that I provide will also have little cheat sheets or worksheets that will help you with the topic. I'd like to give back to those who give back to me, and I love my Patreon community. So if you're looking for an added layer of support, you can go check it out. I have put a link below. I hope that this presentation helped you to dip your feet into a very vast lake of amazing knowledge. I will be continuing this series throughout till December, and then I will continue to add in these little teaching pieces throughout next year. I want to thank you guys for joining me today and exploring your sun sign, your moon sign, and your riser sign. If you did like this session, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what your signs are. Additionally, if you did like this session, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any further content that I post. As, like I said, I have a lot more coming forward. I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope this helped to, like I said, get your toes wet. Until tomorrow, my friends,